We dug a hole.
We never would have done that.
We're delighted to win.
Made some horrible decisions.
We stayed focused.
We lost our composure for a while.
We didn't scramble.
We just ran out of gas, I think.
We are finally down to the Final Four. He was finally back after 13. He finally scored after 16. And he was fast asleep by the 7th.
This is a Cinderella story, isn't it?
Well, we know this is a backward story. This is a backup story. This is a backpedal story, sort of. And they're just looking for a bedtime story.
That kind of helped me because I was thinking more about my back than my foot.
Back or foot? Back or foot? Back or foot? Back or back to back? Front to front? We'll get you where you want to be.
Final 4, Final 8, Final 16, Final 2.
The final word on SportsCenter next.
Is it just me, or did he get those numbers out of sequence? Hello and welcome from World Headquarters. It's The Big Show. Alongside my tag team partner, Dan Patrick, I'm Keith Olbermann.
Coming up on SportsCenter, Shaq shows up in Orlando, but not at the arena. We'll give you a peek at this year's possible National League Rookie of the Year, and one streak ends while another one begins in Darlington.
But first, it worked Friday. Why shouldn't it work Sunday? Go through the school majors of the Arizona Wildcats basketball team, and you'll find 4 undecideds, 3 business, 2 psychs, a pre-education, a communications and economics, and 1 exercise science. You will not find a single time management major. Relevant in the Southeast final, Birmingham again. Oh, so there's an English major, too. Relevant against Providence at Birmingham. This one would be physical. Eugene Edgerson and the elbow to God Shamgod. Your arms too short to elbow God Shamgod. Arizona by 10 at one point. Then in the second half, off the mile, Simon miss. Bennett Davison is fouled on the rebound by Crozier. Austin Crozier picks up his 5th. Fouls out with just over 9 minutes left. The ensuing free throws, Ruben Garces got caught up with Donnell Harris. Garces would get a technical. As a result, Arizona gets free throws and the ball. Next possession, Simon from right downtown, bang. They're up by 8. They're still up by 5 with 40 seconds left, and then Providence rallies. Garces blocks Miles Simon. Providence comes back the other way. The game should have been in the bag. Number 10, Corey Wright, spots Jamel Thomas open in the corner. Nobody on him. Tied at 85. The game, however, is not yet over. Wright will go for the victory. Again, undefended. But anytime you see a guy making like a diving move, the basket's not going to fall. Into overtime for Pete Gillen and company, who've made up a 10-point deficit. Simon breaks the tie with the runner off the glass, 91-89 Zona. Then after a Providence turnover, Jason Terry, it's a final. Austin Crozier knows it. And hey, buddy, aren't you a little older? Oh, sorry, Coach. Arizona in overtime. 30 from Simon, and the no seniors Wildcats go to the Final Four, erasing the legacy of those first-round losses to Miami of Ohio, Santa Clara, East Tennessee State. On the other hand, says Lute Olson, henceforth there may be a new required class for Zona hoopsters.
We haven't made it easy all year long, so I guess that continues to be the thing. Tomorrow we're starting a time management class. It was a physical game, and you know, with the emotions, maybe it got the best of guys, but the people on our team not going to back down from anybody.
Our best attribute turned out to be something that hurt us. Our emotion and our fire turned out to backfire on us, and I thought that was a difference.
So Arizona is there by the hair on their chinny chin chin. Since the 64-team tourney began, only 3 teams have gotten to the Final Four with a smaller aggregate margin of victory than these here Cats. Arizona won its games by just under 5 per. Second lowest margin in this Final Four is 14. Dan?
The even-handed ways of Dean Smith have shined in odd-numbered years this decade. In 1991, North Carolina ended its season with a Final Four loss to Kansas. 2 years later, the Tar Heels gave Coach Smith his second career national title by beating Michigan. Smith returned to the Final Four 2 years later, but left with a loss in the semis to Arkansas. A win Sunday over Louisville would keep Carolina's odd success running. Speaking of running, Dwayne Wheat, testing a tender ankle, got to start his 136th consecutive start, and he proved to be Carolina's Achilles heel, nearly going Cardinals by 3 early, and then trying to get out of this box. Wheat can't stay with Vince Carter. Wheat lets Carter get the rebound, and then you'll notice he can't even jump. Wheat would play plenty, but he couldn't sit down. On defense, Shimon Williams connects after the steal. North Carolina by 1 at halftime. And look, Mom, no cavities. Second half, Wheat and the Cardinals make a run. The three. B.J. Flynn gets into the act. Flynn, the offensive board, dribbles out to the top. The spot up for three that touches nothing at the bottom of the net. Flynn proving that's no fluke. Buries a three from that side. And his teammates say, B.J., he's good. We're back from being down 21. But Ed Cota to Antoine Jamison. Nice catch. Part of a 12-0 run. North Carolina by 15. And then Serge Swicker. He can't jump high, but he can jump far. Yes, that's Serge Swicker, the big man, out on the break. Serge trying to bring down the house. The season's over for Louisville, and Dean Smith saying, I am not going to dance with Serge. Please don't make me. 97-74 the final. Carolina has been to the Final Four in each of the odd-numbered years of the 90s, 11 times all told under Smith. 6 Tar Heels in double figures, including Ademola Okulaja with 11. Before the game, he said succinctly, the Final Four is at stake at the present time. Not anymore, though.
The most important thing about this game is we stayed focused and we did the things that had gotten us this far.
They got mad at me. I think the 7, I'm sure they did, and maybe it was intentional, but the 7-something timeout, I think I said, well, you know, they could catch up and win, and we've had a great season, and, you know, and that was true. That sometimes you need to confront, hey, this could happen, and then you can do something about it.
Carolina's backcourt certainly got the better of their counterparts Sunday. The 23 points scoring margin, Williams and Carter held over Wheat and Sims, matched the margin of victory for the Heels. Ed Cota, Carolina's first guard off the bench, also made a lasting impression. He had 13 points and 9 assists in 29 minutes of work. Even though he has 5 years left on a 7-year contract, Tom Penders is job searching. Penders, the current Texas head coach, will meet with Rutgers officials on Tuesday to discuss the school's head coaching vacancy. Penders, who grew up in Connecticut and coached in the New York metropolitan area, says, I have a policy. If somebody wants to talk, even if I have a lifetime contract, I would certainly talk to them. Keith?
The human body is an extraordinary thing. Take the body of Matt Fish of the Miami Heat. Sunday afternoon, star Heat center Alonzo Mourning was deemed finally recovered from the torn tendon in his right foot, the one that had sidelined him for a month and 2 days. And at that exact moment, the journeyman Fish began to have back spasms, forcing him onto the injured list and fortuitously creating a roster spot for Mourning. Zoe did not start at Minnesota, worried mostly about Matt Fish's back. But Zoe was back. Baby Skyhook, 21 points, 33 minutes for Mourning. His defense, though, a step behind Gugliotta. Get out of his way, and he did. 25 points in the game. Willie Anderson took a little offense over Kevin Garnett. Welcome to the league. Mourning staying loose. Heat trailing 3.5. Second half, the Wolves looking pretty sharp. Gugliotta, nice alley-oop to Stephon Marbury. Stephon just a little less on this celebration. Watch this. Yep, that's the right idea. 27 for him. Wolves by as many as 8 in the third, then in the fourth. Marbury cuts the Heat lead back to 2, but Miami comes back. Jamal mash and burn as the T-Wolves and McHale crash and burn. 21 points, 8 boards for Zoe in his return. Hardaway and Leonard, 22 each. The T-Wolves have lost 10 of 15 all-time to Miami, and everybody now think your good thoughts for Matt Fish and his Lisbeth. Lisbeth, I'm coming to see you. This is the big one, back spasm. John Starks back from his one-day suspension as the Knicks hosted Portland, but he did not start. He was being existential. John Wallace, great feed to Charles Oakley, and the Knicks are leading Portland by 9. Still in the second, Charlie Ward. Bounce pass. There's been a John Wallace sighting. Knicks up by 13. But then, these are the Knicks, these are the Blazers. After the PJ rumor, the moves Kenny Anderson put on Ward, and then touchdown. Blazers within 7 at the break in the third quarter, all Portland. Arvidas behind the back. Oh! Get out of his way. Blazers by 2 after 3. Fourth quarter, Knicks, John Starks. Suspended still, I see. And another one, still suspended. Knicks go 10 minutes without a field goal, 0 for 12. Isaiah Ryder smoking. Or in English, Isaiah Ryder smoking. I know it sounds like I did what he did, but that doesn't happen to be the case. Blazers win again, 94-88, 12 of 13 since the rumor. PJ, by the way, the guest on the Sunday conversation later in the show. And the Knicks lose a full game to Miami in the Atlantic standings. They're now 2.5 out. And Nick Van Exel was back from his ill-chosen remarks about the refs, betting calls, his $10,000 fine, his apology. Lakers at Orlando, they should have apologized. Kersey, Eddie Jones, Del Harris calling for a fair catch. Lakers 4 of 24 in the first. Magic doing it inside off the cycling miss. Then another cycling miss, and it's Ho Grant up and at him. in his space goggles. Touchdown. That put the Magic up by 13, and Dell turned around and said to somebody, "You said the refs had money on this game." Just a joke, just a joke. 66-38 at the half. Second half, Van Exel, no joke. Magic says, "I wouldn't even come back with this team." Nick Anderson from way downtown. Bang. It helps when there's no defense. And Dell's not too happy. Magic rolling. Most curious of all in this one, though, Shaquille O'Neal drove to the arena before the game, dropped off some friends, and then left. Didn't stay for the game. There may be more to this story. Nick Anderson asked why. Other guys are injured, and they still come to the game. Why couldn't you come, he said, addressing Shaq. As to Van Exel, he should know the refs don't bet on the games. They're the ones who downgrade their airplane tickets. Dan?
To the NHL, the Blackhawks have done the math. 3 weeks, 10 games, 1 playoff spot. Chicago entered the stretch run of the regular season, trailing the Idle Flames by 2 points for the final playoff seat in the West. On Sunday, Chicago welcomed longtime nemesis Detroit to the United Center. And speaking of welcomes, Tony Amonte greeted by Aaron Ward. Then Chris Chelios' first game back after missing 8 games. High sticks Martin Lapointe in the face. First period, Chicago up 2-0. Alexei Zhamnov beats Mike Vernon. 3-0 Blackhawks. Vernon pulled, and that will hurt. 1:15 left in the first. Steve Yzerman, first goal in 16 games. Detroit down 4-2. But wait, there's more. Same score, third period. Larry Murphy and Kirk Maltby collide. That lets Murray Craven skate in alone. Kevin Hodson save, and Sergei working his Krivik-Krasov scores on the rebound. You know, I found out they're actually saying corm. It's not like horn, it's corm. 5-3 the final. The win moved Chicago into a tie for 8th in the West.
No, it's not.
Detroit mustered just 1 win against their longtime rivals this season. The Stars try to extend their unbeaten streak to 8 on Sunday. There's Joel Quenneville. His Blues let down by the power play. Brett Hall, the giveaway to Dave Reed. Grant Fuhr equal to the task. Blues up 1-0 on the power play again. Brett Hall playing the point. Pinches in, hockey term. Can't hold the puck. Craig Ludwig finds Mike Modano for the breakaway. And Mike Modano, 31 goals coming in. That would make it 32. Ooh, pinch me. We're tied at 1. Still tied in the third. Again, the Blues on the power play. Hall again. Trouble with the puck. 2-on-1. Modano, Yuri Leitner. First of 2 on the day. Hall's bad day gives the Stars a 4-1 win. Stars 6-0-2 in their last 8, 10-1-2 in their last 13. Hall summed up the Stars by saying, quote, "When they get the lead, they play such a great defensive game." Keith?
Coming up, the track had a nasty nickname, so Jeff Gordon came up with a nastier one and tried to show it who was boss. But did NASCAR's Wonder Boy get taught a lesson by Darlington or by another driver? Also still ahead of us on the big show, we'll go back to the regionals and focus on the men like Anton Jameson, who put Zona and Carolina in the Final Four. Did Marty Conlon and Eric Williams finally find somebody they could beat? If I told you they scored 10 points in the 4th quarter, would that answer your question? And does this answer the Expos questions? Young Vladimir Guerrero again. That's next. This is SportsCenter.
For 36 years, Dr. Pearl has believed in providing the best in value. And now at Pearl Vision, we're having a fantastic frame sale. All our frames are 50% off, every one reduced by half, including all the top designers. But hurry, Pearl's fantastic frame sale ends Saturday.
I got it!
Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's frost brewed to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. Tap the wide mouth, the Coors Light wide mouth can, with a giant opening for a smoother pour.
So then Doris is driving it, and she says, "But Elliot, I can't feel the road." And I said, "But what do you expect? It's a luxury car." Anyway, we then drive it down the road. Have you ever driven down?
Bored with traditional luxury? It could be time for the supercharged Bonneville, one of the world's most powerful sports sedans.
Do you drive a luxury car, Frank?
You bet your ascot I do. Luxury with attitude. The Bonneville by Pontiac.
For 36 years, Dr. Pearl has believed in providing the best in value. And now at Pearl Vision, we're having a fantastic frame sale. All our frames are 50% off, every one reduced by half, including all the top designers. But hurry, Pearl's fantastic frame sale ends Saturday.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Pearl Vision. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
ML Carr, who reportedly doubles as both coach and GM of the Boston Celtics, wants the NBA world to know his team has not mailed in the season in order to get a chance to draft Wake's Tim Duncan. In fact, earlier in the season, Carr approached John Calipari twice about swapping first-round picks so Boston wouldn't be accused of tanking. Carr and Calipari reacquainted Sunday in Boston. You know, the Celtics have not defeated an Atlantic Division foe this year. Sam Cassell trying to make sure that that didn't happen Sunday. Nets by 4 first quarter, but the Celtics come back as only they can. Eric Williams, the layup over former Celt Joe Klein. Williams 20 in the first half. Celtics by 4 at the break. The second half belonged to Sam Cassell. The pull-up for 3. Good. And then from inside, outside, around side, downside, upside, Nets sweep the Celtics this year. They win it by the final of 100-91. Cassell's 30 marked a season high. Prior to this season, the Nets had gone 31-75 lifetime against Boston. New Jersey sweeps all 4 meetings this year. In Toronto, Raps and Hawks, Marcus Camby having a big couple of weeks, making a late season run for Rookie of the Year honors. Had 37. Elmo likes what he sees. Hi, Elmo. Then Raptor defense starts to fall apart. Walt Williams gets the rebound. Christian Laettner rips it away. Allen Henderson, Raptors trail by 11. Sister D not happy.
The hell is going on here?
Defense. This is Sesame Street highlights. Mookie, he had 18, and that cigar puppet, not amused. Raptors lose 90-79.
There was Red Auerbach for a moment.
The win enabled Atlanta to clinch a postseason berth, as if there was any question.
Yeah.
Atlanta has never lost to the Raptors in 8 tries or when Elmo shows up at the game.
They called Darlington Raceway the Lady in Black because of its reputation for causing drivers to leave skid marks as they swerve to avoid the accidents they think she causes. So Jeff Gordon, going for an unprecedented 4th straight win at the track, named the car he brought there Sunday Blacker. He's a caution, that Jeff Gordon. Didn't do him much good there up against the fence. Blackened right door for anybody? He finished 3rd. Thus, he did not win. Later, more trouble. That's Robert Presley and Ricky Craven colliding and going into the wall. You asked for it. Presley was, it says here, visibly shaken as he was helped off. I got to climb over this wall, too? And his car was en fuego, a division of Dan Patrick Industries. But Dale Jarrett was the story all day, leading for 170 laps. In the end, Ted Musgrave had a chance to win, but he didn't. And so, Jarrett's team gives us the mighty roar going up from the crowd. Yay! $142,000. All right, enough celebration already. 2 in a row for Jarrett, rather than 4 in a row for Gordon, who finished 3rd. Enough numbers there to confuse the heck out of you? Jarrett now leading the drivers' race by 85 points. Mr. Trickle did not qualify. The Indy Racing League continues with the Phoenix 200. That is Rick Neuheisel, Colorado football coach, working the pits. And that's not his fault. That was Kenny Brack, and we hope you weren't eating while you watched that. Off the restart, Tony Stewart was leading but couldn't get back to the front, and it would prove costly. Can't catch the rookie Jim Guthrie, who had absolutely no money left. If he'd run out of gas, he couldn't have afforded to fill up. He comes nowhere near clearing expenses, which he made by mortgaging his home and getting his crew to work gratis. If this race kind of snuck up on you, it's okay. The previous race in this IRL season was on January 25th. The one before that was last September.
January 29th, the last time Dean Smith lost a basketball game. Since the defeat by Duke, Smith has tacked on 16 of his 879 victories. The latest installment arrived on Sunday afternoon, but not without a scare. Sal Paolantonio recaps from Syracuse.
Louisville tried everything. DeJuan Wheat shook off a nasty ankle sprain he suffered Friday night. B.J. Flynn fired endless threes, but North Carolina's relentless attack, especially in the backcourt, was just too much.
We just try to get into a half-court game at times, but like when they crash the boards, that's when we try to just get on the break and just try to make things happen. Easy baskets.
You got Coda penetrating and kicking, and you got to worry about Williams and that perimeter shooting the ball, and they both can handle it very well, and they were just giving us a lot of trouble.
The Tar Heels backcourt scored 53 points, including 22 from Shammond Williams, who hit 4 of his 7 three-point shots.
Bounced it to Carter, to Williams, shot out of the left corner, good!
We were able to get shots. We were able to capitalize on all the things that Louisville didn't do right. So that was the most important thing. We played our style of basketball. We executed.
In the end, Wheat was ineffective, shooting 2 for 11 with just 6 points.
It felt great in the first half for about first 15 minutes, but after that, it started to kick in and started to give me trouble.
He wanted to be at his best. Obviously, he wasn't, but he did, you know, he did everything he could.
Very pleased for this team and to be champions, and look forward to trying to do well the next game.
Dean Smith keeps rolling on. This is his 11th Final Four appearance, and every victory is a new NCAA record and the continuation of a 16-game winning streak that seems like it will never end. In Syracuse, I'm Sal Paolantonio, ESPN.
All right, Sal, thank you. In other NCAA hoop news, Mac McCarthy is close to accepting a 5-year contract extension to stay at Chattanooga. He guided the Mocs to the Sweet 16, and Colorado's Ricardo Patton has removed his name from consideration for the Memphis job. Patton took the Buffs to their first NCAA tournament appearance in 28 years. Still to come on the big show, the Flyers were once again without their captain when they encountered the defending Stanley Cup champs at home. And in our serving of cactus, Rhino touches them all, but was it enough? Nobody can provide spring training drama like Keith can. Next.
Hi, I'm Steve Cornelius, and I'm standing in the middle of a huge selection of Toyota certified used vehicles at the all-new Stevens Creek Toyota Superstore, where the best new cars do make the best used cars, many which are low-mileage lease returns. And they go on sale here only after they've passed 128 factory-approved tests, and they all have a 6-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So if you're thinking of a late model car, why would you shop anywhere else?
Stevens Creek Toyota, Stevens Creek at Kiley, San Jose.
KMBR is one big dysfunctional family.